Hi, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. Welcome once more to this amazing session of Havila School of Marriage by Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Crysantus and Nzometia. It's such an honor for us to have you here once more. It is your first time. You're so welcome. You are a VIP. Wow. Do well to enjoy this video right to the end and don't forget to leave a comment. In Havila School of Marriage, we talk about singles, we talk about courtship, we talk about marriage and the family. Wow. We have another amazing content to bring out today. Sweetheart, what are we talking about? Monamura.
Wow, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, my beautiful wife. Greeting once more to the beautiful couple here.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, it's so awesome having you and knowing that you are connected with us.
Oh, yes.
And as we promise you, we'll continue to give you first-hand content concerning courtship, relationships, marriage, and the family. And our objective is to lead you into what we are enjoying, a glorious marriage, and leave a transgenerational legacy. Wow. So today we are going to be targeting disagreements due to poor management of in-laws. You know, when they talk about in-laws, especially in Africa, it's like a nightmare to some people.
Yeah.
In fact, the average African is afraid of an in-law. In Western nations, children could just do their things and only inform their parents.
That's right.
But in Africa, especially sub-Saharan Africa, parents still have a strong hold on their children.
Right.
So that makes it difficult when it comes to marriage. And so you see a case where some children are even praying that they'll get married to people whose parents are no longer alive. That's the extreme of it, to show you how bad it has been. Some of the videos you watch, you see the dilapidating effects of in-laws in a marriage. Most of the Nollywood movies you watch, most of their movies are centered around in-laws refusing marriage or controlling the marriage. So we want to see how to manage these in-laws. We are going to give you an intro to this video, and we encourage you to do a study on this, because people have written on this. We have even written on this. In Havila School of Marriage, we coach people on this.
Oh, yes.
So you could contact us inbox if you have a challenge, and we are going to help you. We'll gladly help you. Wow. That said, our in-laws are an asset. They are our blessing. They are destined to be a great blessing to us. They are destined to be our destiny helpers, to be a great support system to us. But we have an unfortunate situation. We have an unfortunate situation where this has been turned to the other page, where people, when they talk of in-laws, people are instead afraid, they are worried, some even cry. We have had untold, we have even had divorces because of poor management of in-laws. So I want to look at the different types of in-laws you could have and how to manage them. Generally, there are two main types of in-laws. You have different behaviors of in-laws, but they are summarized into two major categories. And when we are talking about in-laws here, we are talking first about your biological parents. For example, I have my biological parents, she has hers. He has his biological parents, she has hers. And so, when we are talking about them, this is what we are talking about. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, Bible says, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. Wow. So when God is talking about in-laws, he has two main people he's talking about. A man's father and his mother, or a woman's father and his mother. We have an unfortunate situation where even siblings are responsible for some failed marriages. Meanwhile, they are not even mentioned when it comes to this. God even considers the parents because they gave birth to that child. And so they have a say in the life of the child. They have a say in the life of the child. But He did not create that child to remain with them forever. when a child is born, the child grows on the breast milk for a while, where a child breastfeeds. In the past, children used to breastfeed for years. Now you have it for months, and those who do it for up to a year now is such a wonderful thing to see a woman breastfeed for a year now, because women have work. Some women are afraid that their breast will fall and so on. But after the woman weans the child from her breast, the next thing that happens is that they need to wean the child from themselves. But we have a situation where it doesn't happen, or it hardly happens. And so when God says that a man will leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two become one flesh, that cannot happen if that child has not left them. And so we have a problem in Africa where some children try to leave, their parents don't permit it. Even when they are in marriage, they don't allow them to leave. And then we have some parents who release their children, and the children, because they have not been trained to do it on their own, they still continue to hang on their parents. And now those who don't leave, or those who leave, and it brings us now to two categories of in-laws. That's what I wanted to share. You have those in-laws who have direct influence in the marriage. They will come directly. If they see a problem in your marriage, or they want to do something in your marriage, they can come directly to influence your marriage, or to say. And then you have those that will do it indirectly. So you have in-laws that come directly, and in-laws that come indirectly. But now, these influences, sometimes they could have good intentions, but because they feel that they own the child, they come and instead create problems. Or sometimes they could just come because they think that since they gave birth to the child, they have the right at any time to have access to the child. But when God says that a man will leave his father and mother, it means he will leave them. That leaving is what we call weaning. As you wean a child from breast milk, you need to wean the child from yourself, so the child will live freely and be able to develop and take decisions and face a life. But we have a situation where it is not done. And so in-laws go as far as bringing up cultures just to keep the child attached to them. And so they give a child in marriage, but they tie an imaginary rope on the waist. Every time they just shake it, they use it to influence. So this rope can be used directly, or, like I said, indirectly. And then we have now the couple that enters into marriage. They have this misconception. Some think that their own family is more important than that of their partner. That's where you start seeing problems come. And something that they were so close together, and now that she's married, that closeness must still be with the siblings and so on and so forth. And so the partner now becomes like an impostor. So everything that happens, they take it back, they go and tell the other person, they tell their parents, they tell their siblings. And since some have direct influence, you just sit in your house and see them come and start shouting at you, or call you on phone and start shouting at you, talking at you, or come to your house and they want to change the way things function. And those who don't come directly will call their daughter or son and start saying things about the partner. And if you have not been weaned, it will influence you, and it will change the way you see your partner. It will change the way you see your partner. So now, how do you manage the in-laws? How do you manage the in-laws? Because all this problem will bring mismanagement about the in-laws. The first thing you must know is that both of them are important. My parents are important as well as those of my wife. Your parents are important as well as those of your wife. My parents suffered for me as well as my wife's parents suffered for her. Likewise, this glorious couple. So none of them are less important than the other. And so when it comes to management of in-laws, you need to do it together. die because of the influences that come in a marriage. Now, couples now also have two types of dealings with their own parents, direct or indirect. If you think that your partner is an obstacle, you will start hiding and doing things with them and make them to feel that it's because your partner did not want. Even if you don't say it, just the fact that you hide to do things is already a message to them that your partner does not want you to do anything for them.
That's right.
And that will make them to start seeing your partner as selfish or as an impostor who came to take you away from them. You see, or when you start imposing and allowing them to come into your marriage and talk to your partner anyhow, do things anyhow, call your partner, talk anyhow, you give them the license to despise your partner. You give them the license to despise your partner. So what is the solution concerning you listening to me, a couple? You need to win yourself if they didn't win you. A man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So if you don't leave, the joining and becoming one flesh will be impossible. It will just be a declaration in church. It will just be a declaration in church. You must leave first. There is a mother who was very wise, Hannah, the mother of Samuel. She weaned him from herself, and the husband Elkanah was a good man. He understood, so they weaned Samuel from themselves and gave him to God to serve God. Now we have a situation where Jesus, his parents, didn't understand that they were supposed to wean him. They protected him so much so at the age of 12, he weaned himself from them. You will still notice that he grew under them later on, but he could grow, he could take decision, he could build his future without them influencing or deciding that he would do like this and like that. Now, Abraham, when he waited for God for so long and God brought Isaac, he became so attached to Isaac that God had to ask him to go and sacrifice Isaac. It was a process of winning Isaac from Abraham, so that God could now teach Isaac what God wanted Isaac to do. If you have a child that is not weaned like this, the child will always depend on you. And if you have not weaned yourself from your child, and your child gets married, you will always want to be coming into their marriage to impose, to say things, to control, and so on. And them joining together, becoming one, it will be difficult because you are standing in between.
That's right.
So we are encouraging parents watching us that when you give a child marriage, learn to release the child from yourself. And know that this child now has a life to live. This child now has a husband to care for. This child now has a wife to care for, and very soon children. And very soon children. If you now have anything, you see anything in their marriage that you can correct, come like Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, and give an advice. Jethro was a very good father-in-law. He gave good counsel. And it helped Moses in his marriage. Even when Moses was going to fulfill his mission, he needed somebody to take care of his children and his wife. And his father-in-law did that happily. And when he fulfilled his mission, his father-in-law came and handed over his children to him. You see, and his wife. And when he saw him stressed up with work, he gave him counsel. Now we have another father-in-law who was very cunning, very wicked, Laban, who manipulated his son-in-law and his daughters and his grandchildren and used them for his own benefit. Don't become that type of father-in-law. Be a destiny helper.
Yes.
Be somebody that gives a child truly in marriage and does not bring up traditions to keep the child attached, or does not start influencing from behind, telling your child things and say don't tell your husband or don't tell your wife, or coming into their home and imposing and say I must eat by this food, this thing should stand by like this. Just give counsel, wise counsel. So we have couples here. We'll give them 1 minute to share their testimony. The third couple, how has it been with you? Yeah, 3 years of marriage now.
Thank you very much,
And you
Daddy
have
Chris.
in-laws.
It has been 3 years of glory, love, and happiness.
Wow.
Indeed, what you're sharing is a reality. And during our courtship, we learn these processes of winning, of becoming one flesh. And one thing that has really helped us is the love and respect we have for our in-laws. Anytime we want to engage into an activity with my wife towards our in-laws, we do it together.
Wow.
Because we are one flesh. We discuss together, we come to an agreement, and we go and meet my father, for example, together. We meet her mother together, and there is this love and flow. And our parents have seen that we are indeed friends, and anytime we do things together, and they have come to be friends as well.
Wow.
And it has been so amazing with our in-laws indeed.
This is powerful. Bonding. You need to bond together, learn to live so you can bond together with your wife or husband, and then bond with the parents together. Bring them together, let them also become friends.
Indeed.
When they become friends, they will no longer be competing over you in the marriage.
Oh, yes.
You have a situation where your mother-in-law, the two mother-in-laws or the father-in-law start competing over the children in the marriage because you did not learn to bond with them. One of the things we do in Avila School of Marriage is that. That's why we encourage you to enroll in Avila School of Marriage.
Yes.
So we can teach you how to bond with them. Now, if you were a son-in-law, a daughter-in-law who entered and staged a fight, and now you have wounded each other, you have created problems with your mother or father-in-laws and so on and so forth, you can heal that relationship.
Yes.
Just simply apologize.
Yes.
You are the younger person, that's a fact. Go and apologize, and then if they hurt you, forgive them and continue to relate and seek to build friendship with them.
That's right.
Seek to build friendship with them. And then you that is in marriage, learn if you notice that the problems are coming through your own line. Is it your own parents that are bringing problems? Be stable enough to tell them to give you space to build your marriage. And then if you need help, you will come to them.
That's right.
Alright? Don't allow your in-laws, your own side, to despise your partner in your marriage. If that happens, then you are responsible.
That's true.
And if you are still on your parents' breast, you have to win yourself. Jesus winned himself. He winned himself. Be stable enough to tell them that I'm not a man.
Oh la la.
Oh. I'm not a woman. Eh? And when they see the way you are doing it, they may instead start learning from you or realizing that that's how it was supposed to be done.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
You give a child marriage, leave the child to enjoy that marriage. You enter in a marriage, you have left. When God talks about leaving, He did not even mention a woman, because a woman is like someone who is at the airport waiting to take off. So you finally took off, like she took off to my destination.
Oh yes.
She took off to his destination.
Yes, sir.
You see,
What a destination.
that's right.
It's amazing destination.
Did you really take off?
I did. Thank God for counselors, thank God for knowledge. That's why we encourage you. At the very beginning, I was taught these things. At the very beginning of courtship. That's why it was easy for me to indeed leave when it was time. And when we talk about leaving, we don't mean abandoning your parents,
Yes.
abandoning your caregivers and all those who are standing there for you as parents. No. We simply mean that you'll be able to take decisions independent with your spouse without their influence, directly or indirectly. That's what it means.
Yes.
They have their honor that is due them, their respect and all of that. But then you must be able to make them understand that now you have a family and you have your head talking to the woman, or you have your helper who is there for you to plan out together. That's how you'll be able to bond. So I indeed left, and behold, it has been an amazing ride.
Powerful. Yes, I can testify. She left. When we're in courtship, I remember it's not an easy process. If
Yes.
your parents didn't release you, the moment you are leaving, there will be some reactions. But you should be stable to know that it's a good reaction. And later on, they will be happy. Because if you don't leave, you will not be able to fulfill your marriage. You will not be able to enjoy it, because your partner will be there, but you ignore your partner and you continue taking decisions but with your family. How can you do that? That's gross ignorance. And at the end, you have marital problems, you are the one going through stress, your children will be the one suffering the consequences. You now have a partner, learn to take decisions together. If you need the help of your parents, you go to them together for the help. And then learn to bond to the point that the parents bond together too and become friends.
Oh, yes.
And together they become your destiny helpers. Hey, Dr. Mel, did you indeed left?
Yes, sir. I want to give a very big thanks to you for having us on the platform. Indeed, it was for me a very easy process because I grew up away from my mom, and that was an aspect. I grew up away from my mom, so it was very easy for her to understand that I'm grown up, I'm married, and she respected the fact. And one thing I would like to add is that on the side of my husband, my mother-in-law grew to understand that we are always together. In every action, we do it together, we discuss things together. So sometimes when my husband goes to her alone, or when I go to her alone, she's like, is your husband aware? Does he know this is what you want to do? So she got to understand that we always do it together. So also that when she doesn't see one person, she's like, I think when you are with your husband, we should talk about this. So she grew to understand that we are always doing it together.
Hey, thank God for such mother-in-laws who can have this level of understanding. I pray that all our mother-in-laws and father-in-laws becomes like this.
Amen.
And that us, the children who are married, we will learn the wisdom, because the poor relationship with them usually is one or both partners that engineer it.
Yes.
Or that permit it. If you can take a stand, they will soon understand. They just love you. They are missing you. You left. They will try to get you closer or always want to be there. You need to, with time, make them know that you have come of age.
Oh, yes.
And you can now take decisions.
That's right.
You can now live a life. Yes. And if you need their help, you will come to them.
That's right.
Winning is not abandoning. You've separated yourself so you can take decisions, so you can build your own marriage and life, but you have not abandoned them. You need to honor them. We have shared in our videos, and we say those who come to us for counseling or in coaching, we are going to train you in this. So you enter into marriage with your in-laws, be your destiny helpers and not your enemies or your what, competitors, or what else can I use? Which word? Oh, you see, so, wow. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe if you've not done so. If you've not subscribed, there will be a black button down written subscribe. Simply click on it, and that's it. And then there's a notification on the side. You can click on it so that whenever we post videos, you will see them. Comment, like, and of course share. Thank you so much. God bless you.